Hi friends, this is Mr. Chika from Dubiss Forex. Happy New Week. Okay, we are here again to give us a weekly forex forecast, starting from today being the 8th of August all through Friday the 12th of August. So we're going to look at what the market have in stock for us this week, and we'll see how to capture those moves and make huge profits. So having said that, let's go to the chart. But before we do that, let's see our weekly calendar. Okay, we'll go to our forex forecast, forexfactory.com, to see what the calendar has for us. We can see today Monday, there is no much news for today. Then going tomorrow Tuesday 9th, we can see the market has no news for us. We have no news coming out on Tuesday. But on Wednesday, we'll be having the CPI for USD. So pay attention on CPI for USD, Consumer Price Index. That should be by 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Then on Thursday, we also have a bank holiday for all the JPY. Then later on the day, we'll be seeing the same 1:30. We'll be seeing the PPI news for USD. Okay, so we'll pay attention on that news on Thursday. Then Friday will be a news for the GBP. Okay, they'll be releasing their GDP monthly news for GBP. So that will be by 7 a.m. Nigerian time on Friday. Still on that Friday by 3 p.m. there will be news for consumer sentiment on USD. So we pay attention in all this. But apart from that, let's go to the charts technically and see how to analyze and place a trade, make huge profit for the day. Okay, so we're jumping back to our technical charts. So before us here is the GBP USD. Now, before we look at what GBP will give us this week, first of all, what we do is we go to the higher time frame. So on the weekly time frame, we can see that the bull tried to take over the market on the weekly. The bull tried to take over, and as they are trying to take over, let's see what we have for us there. So on the weekly time frame, we notice that we have a support. We have a support on this zone, and that support equally turns what? Resistance. So on the weekly, we can see the bulls are gathering momentum. Okay, let's go to the daily. On the daily charts, last week price dropped up to this point. Last week price break a support. We have this resistance turning support last week. But what do we observe this week? Okay, so if you look closely here, you see that on this daily, we see this zone actually was a resistance zone. But what happened? Price break it, and we see the bull gathering momentum. So it means that the bulls are pushing on in this week, because last week we see that this support zone, okay, this support zone, price could not break below. So what is telling us that price is going up. So let's go to H4 chart. On the H4 chart, we can see that price is moving up. On the H4 chart, we can see that price is moving up. Because most of us are intraday traders. So for the intraday traders, what do? We go to the H1 to look for opportunity. So on the H1 charts, we can see price is pushing up. So what is this price doing here? What are we to get from this chart? Okay, on the H1 we can see this guy created, we see this trend line. So on the H1 chart we can see there is a trend line that price the other time tried to break but could not. Okay, went there. So on the H1 chart, look at what we expect to get. Currently we are seeing price pushing up, so we expect price to push, okay, push up. If any break above this trend line, it means that we will see price going towards this resistance. Okay, so on the H1 chart we see price already pushing up, so we expect this price to continue to push up. Okay, continue to push up. Okay, breaking this trend line. Okay, breaking this zone. So as price break above this zone, we can target this area. Okay, breaking above this zone. So for those of us that are good in short trade, okay, there is tendency that price will give us at least 20 something pips, 20-30 pips. So you can take advantage of this price moving up, breaking above this our trend line. Then any break above it, it means that price will push up. So pay attention on this chart. So that is for GBP USD. Let's see GBP JPY. GBP JPY. Okay, so for GBP JPY, if you look at this, you see that price actually build up a support zones, giving us series of supports at this point. So last weekend we can see that price do what? Touch this support zone area, and if you watch, price is pushing up. For GBP JPY, the daily, so you can see price coming down, was rejected, okay, and we see price building up again. So that is on the daily. Okay, I started from the daily on this chart. Then on this chart again, if you watch closely, we can see that we have this trend line. Okay, we can see this trend line, so meaning that price is moving like in a triangle manner. Okay, but most of us don't trade this. Let's go to the H4 chart and see. On the H4 charts, let's see, on the H4 charts we can see price pushing up. On the H4 chart we can see price pushing up. Okay, but right now we are seeing something that looks like a rejection candle. So because we can see the price is giving us a bull moving up, what do we do? How do we take this trade? Now, how we take this trade is we can look for a pullback, perhaps on this zone. Okay, when we see price pulling back on this zone, look at it. We can expect price maybe give us a nice retracement to this area. Then we can go testing this our trend line. So what are we expecting? Expecting price to pull back. After the pullback, we'll expect price, okay, to go and hit this our trend line. Okay, so expect price to give us a nice pullback, then take a buy and target this zone. That is for GBP JPY. Okay, without going, let's see USD ZAR. Let's see what this price have for us. First, let's go to the weekly. So on the weekly, we can see that price is pulling up, okay, giving us a nice uptrend. So on the weekly, we can see price giving us a nice uptrend. But as price made to this level, we can see there was the rejection. And that zone is a nice zone for the resistance, those trading USD JPY, sorry, USD South African Rand, which is USD ZAR. So on the weekly, we can see prices pulling back from the weekly. So let's go to the daily and see what the price have for us on the daily. So on the daily, okay, if you watch there, you see series of rejection on this daily. So let's bring our resistance zone to this zone. Okay, so we can see price giving us this on the daily. Now if you also look closely, you see that we have a nice support zone here, which is a resistance here, and price went there and tested it as a resistance. So on the daily, we can see that price is pulling back, is pulling towards the downside. Hence price is pulling towards the downside. What do? Let's locate our support and resistance. So we can see we have a support zone here. We can see we have a support zone here. Let's go to H4 and see. So on the H4, we can see price falling drastically. So what do? On the H4, we can see this price coming down. So on this point, we can look for a nice buy on this zone. Okay, we can look for a nice buy on this zone for price to break above. So if you want to trade USD South African Rand, that price is good for a sell. But if you're looking for a buy, you can get your buy in this zone. Okay, for USD ZAR, we look for price. Let's go to H1. So on the H1, we can see price is actually pulling out. Okay, so we wait for that buy on this zone. For USD South African Rand, we wait for that buy on this zone. Okay, so sorry, these other ones I didn't put a text box there. So we look for a buy on this zone. We look for buy on this zone. As price approach there, we take our buy. Okay, then we'll come back to this chart again. So we look for buy on this zone for USD ZAR. While for USD GBP USD, we wait for price to give us this setup. Okay, for GBP JPY, remember we are looking for a buy on this zone. So where do we get our buy? Sorry, we get our buy zone in this area. So if you are looking for a nice buy on GBP JPY, wait for price to pull towards this direction. Okay, this zone, then we take a nice buy. So what we'll be doing this weekend, okay, this week is we'll be monitoring this our trade. As soon as price get to our zone, we give out this information, we give out the signal to those in our pay group. Okay, so let's go. For the next pair we're looking at, what USD Canadian dollar. Now for USD Canadian dollar, let's first of all go to the weekly and see what the weekly is having for us. So on the weekly, we can see price somewhere here pull back. Okay, we can see price hitting a resistance zone, coming down. Okay, coming down. And you also watch on the weekly, we can see we have a resistance zone. We have a resistance zone somewhere here. Okay, we have a resistance zone. Okay, which price have played out. That is on the weekly. Okay, so what do? We go to the daily to see what the price have for us. So on the daily, we want to see what this guy is giving us on the daily. So on the daily, we can see price after the last Friday candle that push up. We can see a retracement coming up. So a retracement coming up. So what do we do on this retracement? Most likely we are seeing this chart moving up, okay? Because if you also look at this, you see that this guy concentrates on the up move. So we see that price is all shooting up. Okay, my price is shooting up. Where do we get the next buy zone? Okay, coming to the H4, we can see price is also doing the same. So, and again, if you also notice, where we drop our support line is where we have the shoulder of the previous head and shoulder that played out. Okay, so if you watch the previous head and shoulder, which is a resistance zone, okay, this is the area where we have it. So coming back to the present chart right now, okay, you can see price is doing that. So what do we do? Because most of us we are intraday trader. What do? We can wait for price to give us a nice pullback towards this zone. So once we get a nice pullback towards this zone, okay, look at this, towards this zone. Once we get a nice pullback towards this zone, we can now take advantage of this and go for a buy. Okay, so USD card will be good for a buy. Okay, once we see price pull back towards this our zone, so we pay attention on that to see as soon as we get price to give us this pullback, then we can take the trade. So watch, like as we said, we'll wait for trade. When we get a pullback towards this zone, okay, we'll give it out for our students, those in our pay group. So this is one of the charts we'll be watching this week. As soon as we get price towards this zone, we give it out for our students. Okay, so that is for USD Canadian dollar. We're waiting for price to give us a pullback towards this zone. Okay, let's see what GBP AUD have for us in stock. GBP AUD. Now for GBP AUD, GBP AUD, if you look at on the daily, okay, on the daily, we can see that several times what happened when price hit this zone. Okay, when price hit this zone, what happened? The price will move. Whenever price hit this zone, there will be a bounce. Okay, so having said that, and if you also watch, you see that we most likely we are getting this on our charts. So until price break below this zone, okay, we still concentrate on the buy. So if you look at my chart here, as I squeeze it, you can see what we have. We're seeing that price, okay, is playing around this zone. First, this, second on this zone. So on the daily, this guy is ranging, but even if he's ranging, we can get a trade. Okay, so our concentration now on this chart is if we see price again getting into this zone and did not break. Okay, when we see price get into this zone again and did not break, what do? We can take our trade. So without going too far on this pair, we'll be expecting price. Whenever we see price inside this zone again, what do? We go for a buy. Hence, this setup has not broken. Okay, we go for a buy on this. So for GBP AUD, we'll be waiting for price to get inside this zone again. When price do that, what do? We go for that buy, then target this area. Now let's look at Euro Swiss francs. Euro Swiss francs. Okay, so for Euro Swiss francs, Let's go to the daily. First of all, let's go to the daily and see what this guy have for us. Now, on EuroChef, if you watch, EuroChef have been falling. It's a downtrend. Okay, moving in a downtrend. So, this guy have been falling. Okay, yes, we've identified that is a downtrend. Okay, but what happened? We go to the H4 to see what this H4 has for us. On the H4, if you look at this chart, you see that we notice this zone, okay, notice this zone. You can see that we have a strong support zone. We have a strong support zone. Then on this H4, if you also watch closely, you see that price got to this zone, okay, with a nice rejection here. Price fell down, price went back again. That is why price is falling. So if we have anything to go by, let's get this first to see what this guy have for us. Let's get this to see what this guy have for us. Now on the H4 charts, we can wait patiently. Okay, on the H4 charts, if you look closely, we see most likely this support here might give us another support. Okay, so for USD CHF on the H4, we might likely get price reacting on this support zone. So let's go to H1 and see. So on the H1 chart, we'll be looking at price getting inside this zone, okay, getting inside this zone to hit a support level. And when price do that, we equally see price reacting also on this trend line. So this trend line will equally turn a support. So for USD, for EuroChef, we'll be waiting for price in this zone for a buy. For EuroChef, we'll be waiting for price to buy, to enter our buy zone here. So when price give us that, we take a buy, and our target will be this zone. So for EuroChef, will be expecting a buy at this zone. Then our target will be this upper boundary for EuroChef. Okay, for EuroChef. Okay, dollar index. Dollar index, if you remember last time when we do analysis, we told you that dollar index have been reacting based on the daily, okay, that this guy, okay, still acting on it, on this pair. Okay, but let's see, haven't gotten that. We might not take it from there. Let's take it from what we are seeing on the H4 chart. So on the H4 chart, look at this. On the H4 chart, we got these supports. Okay, there was a support on this zone on the H4 chart. We have that price was playing around on this support, and price have broken out. So if you look at this, price broke out of this support zone, and price is testing there again. So what I think might happen is this is a 50-50 trade. Okay, this is a 50. But what if you watch, this guy broke out, okay, got to this point on hourly chart, we have this rejection, and this rejection have been playing out. So what I think might happen on this chart, let's go this way on this DXY. I know whatever happened to this chart will affect other currency that have dollar. Okay, so what I would likely see this chart will do is perhaps coming down here again to continue the upward movement. For DXY, I'm expecting price to continue up trend. Okay, the only thing we will notice is when price hit this trend line, we will be waiting for a buy or waiting for price to pull up from this zone. So for dollar index, somewhere here, which will also turn, if you also watch, which will also turn perhaps support becoming resistance, something like this. Okay, so I'll be expecting dollar index to bounce from here. Okay, so I'll be expecting a buy on DXY. So expecting a buy on this trade on this zone. Okay, so having said that, let's see GBP, Euro GBP. So on Euro GBP charts, let's go to on the daily. If you notice, you see that price have been giving us this. We have this, a nice rejection here, and also from here we see another nice rejection here. Okay, that is how I want to analyze this chart. Nice rejection here, nice rejection here, 1 and 2. Okay, so having said that, if you also look at this, you see that price, whenever price get to this point, okay, there was a bounce. Look at this zone, So whenever price get there, price bounce, get again a bounce on the daily. Now, last week price actually broke out from this, giving us this support, but if you understand, that should be this daily, that should be on Thursday. Price broke above that support. Okay, price broke above this support. Let's come to H4 chart. So price have broken. We have seen a nice engulfing, okay, on the daily, but right now on this daily we are seeing this doji. So what I think might happen on this chart is we might see price to pull back to retest this zone as a support, then price will continue give us this move here. So for Euro GBP, we'll be expecting price, okay, to pull back, giving us a nice hit on this support. When price give us a nice hit on this support, we now take our buy. So for GBP, Euro GBP, we'll be expecting price, okay, to give us a nice pullback, then we take our trade on this to move up. Okay, let's see CHF JPY on the weekly. Let's see what the weekly have for us. So on the weekly, we can see that weekly at this point give us a nice rejection on this zone. Price pull back, then coming here we saw price hitting our support, so giving us, this was a resistance here, and we saw price hitting that zone. Okay, so that is on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. On the daily chart, okay, price is pulling, is moving up, okay, because of this guy here, price is moving up. So what are we expecting? Let's go to H4 because we really want to get an entry on this chart. So on the H4, On the H4, we can notice that we have a support which price have not tested. This support, and price have not tested this. Okay, so I believe that price will go there to test as what resistance. So whatever I'm seeing here is just a mirage, because price will still go up, price will still move up, okay, from what I'm seeing. So what are we expecting? Maybe we might get a little move down, we might get a little pull back, okay, a little pull back somewhere here. Okay, let's do this. We might get a little pullback here. Okay, then when we get this pullback, then I'll expect price to go and complete this. Okay, I'll expect a little pullback on this zone, then price will go and complete this. So that is for CHF JPY. Euro CHF, we've gotten your analysis. Euro CHF, we've gotten your analysis. Okay, so for Euro JPY, sorry I didn't share this chart. That was last week. Okay, I didn't share this chart. That was last week. I got this move. Okay, this was our take profit 1, take profit 2. So this price have already accomplished this. But what do we have on this chart now? For USD JPY, if you watch, if you saw that chart, you notice that on the USD JPY, okay, we got this move. So price is only testing 50% Fibonacci retracement zone. Okay, most likely that price is going to 61.8 retracement zone. But from what we have on this chart, okay, from what we have on this chart, note this zone for me. Okay, note this zone for me. It was a resistance. Price tested here as a support. Okay, so when you go to H1 chart, what I'm expecting is a little move towards this zone. Okay, towards this support zone. Okay, a little move towards this support zone. Then after this move, we'll be expecting price to go towards the 61.8 retracement zone. Okay, so when price come back here, it will be testing this zone, this resistance as a support. So USD CHF, Euro JPY will be good for a buy when price retrace towards this zone. So look for price towards this retracement zone. So as we get this short retracement, okay, we can now go target the 61% move, this zone. So let's go. So we look for a buy towards this zone. We look for a buy towards this zone, and we target, our first target will be the 61% retracement zone for Euro JPY. So Euro JPY, this is what we're expecting. Okay, let's also go to USD JPY. Okay, if you look at USD JPY, both on the weekly and daily, you can see that this guy is in an uptrend. Okay, this guy is in an uptrend. I was looking at this chart last time, okay, in an uptrend. Now, if you look at this, let me show you what you need to understand about this chart. If you look at this, from this move to this move, pay attention. From this move here to this move, you see that this guy only came back here to give us 61% retracement. So after this retracement, we expect price to continue the upward movement. So on the daily, this is what we got. That is why this price went up. Okay, so I remove this. So as this price have played out on this, look at this again. Look at this again. If you bring in your Fibonacci from here to here now, okay, from this move to this move, this guy is only testing 50% retracement move, and we're expecting price to continue even above this we expect price to move above this upper boundary. But let's go to H4 and see what this chart have for us. Now, if I leave this Fibonacci here, okay, it will be another guide for us. It will be a guide for us. So what we're expecting, like as this guy now on the H4, we are getting this pullback, okay. Now expect this guy to move, expect this pullback somewhere here, okay, hitting this support zone, okay. Expect this pullback hitting this support zone. Let's see on the hourly chart. So as we are seeing this guy pulling back, we might expect price pull back here, but I will give you two zones where you can look for a buy, okay. Let's look at this. Let's look at this zone again. Look at these two zones, okay. Look at these two zones. So for USD JPY, we expect our buy in either these two zones. So monitor price closely in either these two zones, whichever one that plays out. Assuming peradventure you take the first zone, okay, price goes against you, don't panic, take another entry on this next buy zone. So we have two zones here for USD JPY, okay. Expect a buy, and when you take your buy from this later, okay, from this one, target 61.8, furthermore target this zone, okay. I'm using this fib to give us our target zones for USD JPY, so target 61.8 retracement, okay. So we have a first target here, we have our first target here, and we have another target here, okay. We can be taking it bit by bit, but USD JPY is a good buy trade. I don't know, I've taken much trade and I wish I would take more, but because of time, I don't want to make this video so long, okay. I don't want to make this video so long, but let's take the last trade we'll be looking at. Let's look at the last trade. Later on in the week, I will also make much more analysis, okay, much more analysis. If you look at this chart, I'm on USD CHF. On the daily, you can see whenever price touch this zone, what happened? The price will fall, okay. Price hitting. Let's go to the weekly first. Let's go. So if you watch on the weekly, we are seeing price giving us lower high, telling us that price is falling, okay. Price is coming down, okay. On the daily, let's go on the daily. Let's go to the daily. On the daily, meanwhile, let me drop this trend line this way, okay. Now on the daily, you can see price giving us whenever price move further. So it's telling us this guy is coming down. Let's go to the H4 chart. The H4 chart. On the H4 chart, notice this. On the H4, we have a nice support zone here. A nice support. This is our first support zone here. Price was able to defeat that support, and we equally have another support somewhere here. But this guy is on a downtrend, but I'm not using this as my yardstick. I'm seeing price giving me lower lows. So what do? I can wait for price on the daily, wait for price on this zone. So if you watch, you see a nice resistance. So we expect this price to come and hit this as a support. Okay, so I haven't put it there. Go to my H4 chart. On the H4 chart, we notice price, okay, hitting this resistance several times. The second time, okay, this is the first and the second. So this pin bar is already a price action for the H4 chart. It's already a price action, so we expect price to go down. But let's go to the hourly chart. On the hourly chart, we still expect price to go down, okay. But what will happen is that on the hourly chart, if we see price hitting this support, testing this support as a resistance, we'll take a sell. So if I see price coming this zone, we take a sell and we target this zone here. So on USD Chef, we're expecting price, okay, to move in, hitting this our zone for a sell. When you hit that sell zone, then we target this as our TP. So this is what we have for us this week, okay. Now what to do for most of our students, is I'll keep on monitoring these charts, this analysis. As soon as we see price hitting this our zone, we'll send out the signal. For our students. So take notes. We'll be watching each of these price, each of this analysis. Then we'll give it out for our students. Okay. So if you also got the knowledge of Forex, you can also be watching this trade and take advantage of it. Thanks and bye for now.